I want to do a video on how importing and tariffs work, because I'm realizing that every video that you see about tariffs nowadays and what has garnered everyone's interest is always politically charged. It's always about right and wrong, how bad or how good it is. I don't care about any of that. That's not my world, not my industry. This is Kensington Food Company. We are an importer, so I just want to educate you on simplistically how importing works and how tariffs are applied. Just so you know, when you have any other conversation about this world, you have a little more in-depth knowledge other than this is horrible, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. Don't worry about any of that. So importing is very simple, right? I am an importer based in Philadelphia in the United States. I find, and I'm in the food world, Kensington Food Company. I find a food producer somewhere in the world, for us it's usually Italy, that produces something, let's say pasta. I want to import the pasta into the United States. So I contact the producer, I place my order with them, they organize the order, they put it in a warehouse, and they say, okay, importer, it is ready for pickup. I go there through a freight forwarder, and I have the order picked up in Italy, and from that point on is now my responsibility. So the pallet of pasta, let's say, is brought from that producer to a consolidation warehouse. In Italy, it's typically Milan. And it sits there until a shipping container, a sea shipping container, is ready to take it to the United States, usually a few days. That pallet is placed on a shipping container, that container is placed on a ship, and that ship departs to the United States from Italy. The whole time it's my responsibility, no longer the producer's. While it's on the water, about halfway through its journey, my customs broker will clear that shipment, meaning it will talk through the systems to the government saying, hey, this is the producer, this is the importer, these are the addresses, this is the invoice. So the government knows who sent it from Italy, who was receiving it in the United States, how much I paid for it, because the amount that I paid for the product is going to determine all of the duties and taxes. So before tariffs became a trigger word in today's market, forever there has always been duty. Duty is tariffs on products. But traditionally, it ranges from like 0% to 1%, 2%, depending on the product. So like olive oil might be 0.006% per liter or whatever. There's always been some tariff or duty attached to products being imported in the United States forever. But it was always very minuscule, and it was just to kind of bring income and revenue in that the government would then use to subsidize and help domestic producers of that product. That's always been the process. So the product's on the ship, it gets cleared, the government says, okay, that producer that sent it from Italy is a FDA certified and registered, the person receiving it is an FDA registered importer and facility, you have the green light to bring this product in the United States. The ship makes it to the United States, typically for us, New Jersey, New York, and as soon as it arrives, the second it's taken off of that ship, the government clears it, and I get a bill for my duties, taxes, tariffs, all the same thing, for that shipment. So in today's market, because the current tariff slapped broadly across the EU is 15%, if I bring over $100,000 worth of oil, vinegar, pasta, the second that ship arrives, I get an invoice from the federal government for $15,000 for tariffs. That's how tariffs work. I, the American importer, have to pay that tariff for the product that I just imported from overseas. Very simple. There is no other gray area. There is no other way around it. The importer here in America pays the tariffs due to the federal government the second the ship arrives from overseas. Now, you might say, I've heard that the producer pays it, or I heard that it's split. Answer shortly, no, it's not. The reason why they can say that and find that gray area is because if you're doing business on a very large scale, if you're a billion-dollar corporation ordering millions of dollars of product, the company in China or Italy or wherever it is can't afford to lose your business. They don't want to stop shipping. So what they will do is they'll have agreements with each other. Like, listen, your tariff is 20%. I'm acting, say I'm the Chinese manufacturer. We will give you a 10% discount so that you only bear half the pain of that 20% tariff. So that's what they mean, I think, when they say, oh, the producer's bearing it, they're paying it. First of all, no, we are still the ones paying it. The American importer over here pays the federal tariff to the government. But if you're a big company and you have leverage and the producer overseas can't lose this money, they might work with you to give you a discount on the product to help you pay that tariff. But that's only for the big guys, people. We are small guy. We are small peas in the pod compared to everybody else. We're bringing over 40 grand, 60 grand, 80 grand of gourmet food products. And that's normal for the majority, 80% or more, of importers in the United States. We're small business owners bringing over a product that we're trying to share with the world, especially in the food industry. So we don't get that leverage. If I call this big olive oil company that I order a couple $100,000 a year from and say, oh my God, the tariff's 15%, this is too much. Can you give me, 10% off my product? They're like, no, sorry, man. There's barely that much money made on the deal with you, because as a producer, your margins are small. You're making 8%, 10%, 15% anyway. So how am I going to give you 5 or 10% just because your government is charging you a tariff? So you can see their position as well. They're not going to give you a break. Now, if I was ordering $20 million a year from somebody, they don't want me to go somewhere else, or they don't want to lose the business entirely. That hurts the books too much. So they'll share the pain with me. So that's why they say they're paying it. But just know, factually, no matter what the backroom deal is, the American importer pays the tariff the second it arrives. I'm not guessing this. I'm not assuming this. I've been an importer for 15 years. I get the bills. I see the bills. I pay the bill. And it hurts. We're a small company. We have a dozen or so employees. Shedding out 15 grand, 10 grand, 8 grand on every incoming shipment is very painful. But I don't care whether you think it's good, bad. That's not what this conversation is about. This is just telling you some education, how importing works from producer to America, how things get cleared, how things get checked, and how things get calculated. The duty's based on the invoice. So when that pasta company gave me that invoice and it said 10 grand, let's say, $10,000, arrives in America, what's the duty for EU? 15%. You owe us $1,500, sir, for that package. That's it. Simple. That's how it works. So now you know, beginning to end, the facts behind it. There is no gray area. This is how importings and duties and customs work. Hope that helped a little bit. I like having these kind of conversations. It's not my traditional videos about like oil and vinegar and the details of products and specifics and quality and all that cool stuff. This is a little more technical side of importing, but it's still a fun conversation to have. Any questions, let me know. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.